Anger unmanaged will manage you. This is not a warning. That's a diagnosis. And if you're honest with yourself right now, you've already felt that diagnosis hit. I'm Ed Snyder. This is Control the Beast. And today we're going to talk about one emotion that has destroyed more relationships, ended more careers, broken more families, and wrecked more ministries than almost anything else. Not because it's evil, because it went unmanaged. Stay with me, because this is not just about anger. This is about who is in charge of your life.
From the heart of Irving, Texas, this is Control the Beast podcast. Get ready to discover how faith and emotional intelligence collide to help you own your reactions and rewrite your story. Join your host, Pastor Ed Snyder, as he takes you beyond the surface, tackling anger, fear, and frustration with real, God-centered solutions. Each episode brings you practical strategies to master your emotions, strengthen your relationships, and live the abundant life you were created for. This is Control the Beast.
Okay, so here's what unmanaged anger looks like in real life. And I want you to see yourself in at least one of these. Okay, here we go. The person who says things in an argument that they can never back up and then spends weeks trying to repair what 30 seconds destroyed. The leader who gets loud when challenged and wonders why their team stops bringing them real information. The parent who loses it over something small and watches their child's eyes go quiet in a way that stays with you. The pastor, the supervisor, the spouse who keeps saying, "That's just how I am," and keeps getting the same result. In every one of those situations, anger didn't just show up. It had been building. It has been fed. It's been ignored. And when nobody was managing it, it started managing everything else. Here it is. The beast doesn't ask for permission. If you're not leading it, it's leading you. Okay, I want to read you a scripture and I want you to hear this not as a Bible verse or a religious plateau, but as one of the most accurate psychological observations that has ever been written, and it actually comes from the Bible. Imagine that. Proverbs 16:32. He who is slow to anger is better than the mighty, and he who rules his spirit than he who takes a city. The king who takes a city needs an army. He needs a strategy. He needs weapons, soldiers, resources. But the man who rules his own spirit, he needs only one thing: the decision to be in charge of himself. God is not asking you to suppress your anger. He's asking you to govern it, to get it under control, to control the beast that's within you. There's a massive difference between suppression and governance. Suppression buries it alive. But when you manage it, when you get it under control, when you govern it, it directs it's direct with purpose. Ephesians chapter 4, verse 26, be angry and do not sin. This is not a contradiction. It's a command with guardrails. Anger itself is not the problem. Unmanaged anger is the problem. So that's where we've got to look at. When I say manage your anger, I don't mean smile when you want to scream. I don't mean pretend everything is fine when it isn't. I mean three things. Number one, recognize it before it owns you. Okay? Anger has physical signs that arrive before the explosion. Your chest tightens up, your jaw clenches, your breathing gets shallow, your voice starts rising. And if you learn to recognize those signals, you have a window of opportunity, a 4-second window to choose the next move before the beast chooses it for you. Okay? Number one, recognize it before it owns you. Number two, identify what actually driving it. Anger is almost always a secondary emotion. In fact, it is a secondary emotion. And if you don't get the primaries taken care of, depression, anxiety, fear, frustration, all of those, then it escalates into anger. Anger then escalates into rage. Rage then escalates to blind rage, and now you're in real trouble. So again, anger is always a secondary emotion. Underneath there is that something else, like I just mentioned. And if you only manage anger, you're not treating the symptom. In other words, you're just knocking the dandelion off the top of the ground. You got to go get the root. You have to identify that. If you're going to solve the problem, here's what you need to do. You need to ask yourself, what am I actually afraid of right now? What do I feel powerless over? These are very important questions that you need to be asking yourself, even right now while you're listening to this podcast. What do I feel disrespected about? The answer to those questions is where the real work needs to happen. So number two, identify what actually is driving it. Number three, choose your response instead of defaulting to your reaction. Okay? Reactions are automatic. Response is intentional. And we have to be intentional and strategic about managing our emotions. Reaction says that it's just who I am. Response says, this is who I'm choosing to be. Big difference. Every time you choose response over reaction, you take a little more of yourself back from the beast. Okay? Let's talk a little bit about the cost of unmanaged anger. Okay, I've been up close. In fact, for our new listeners that are joining us here in this podcast, some of you may not know me. I was this person. I was the fat kid. I was timid, very quiet, always getting picked on, bullied, beat up in school, which made me a very angry teenager. And then when you add all of the chemical changes that teenagers go through in adolescence, it compounded my problem, and I became a very angry adult. And so I've been here and I've done it. I got the t-shirt, the coffee mug, the ink pen, the wristband, and everything else. So I've lived this. And then I've also been up close for almost 30 years, especially serving as a law enforcement chaplain. And this unmanaged anger will cost you relationships. People don't stay close to someone that they have to manage themselves around. They stop bringing you the hard conversations. They stop being honest with you. They love you from a safe distance, and you wonder why you feel isolated. That's one of the costs, relationships. The second cost is your leadership. The moment your team, your congregation, your family starts managing their behavior around your emotional state, you have lost leadership. You have lost compliance. You don't have trust. I know that's a reality check. I know that may be a little bit hard to swallow. That may have stung a little bit, but true nonetheless. The next thing that it cost you in unmanaged anger is it cost you your witness. You can preach on grace on Sunday and destroy someone with your words on Monday, and the people watching know it. Unmanaged anger in a leader creates a credibility gap that no sermon can close. That's what you've got to be very careful. The next thing is it costs you yourself. Chronic anger is physically destructive. It damages your health. It damages your sleep patterns, your ability to think clearly. It keeps you in a state of low-grade war with the world. So here's the deal, the turn. You can take it back. Okay, the fact that anger has managed you doesn't mean it gets to keep managing you. This is not a life sentence. This is not something, well, I can't help myself and I was born this way, or what other excuse you can come up with. That's not true. You've got to deal with reality here. Okay? The fact that anger has managed you doesn't mean it has to keep managing you. This is a pattern, and patterns can be broken. In Control the Beast, our book that's available on Amazon, we teach the control framework, 7 steps that changes the way you handle every high tension moment. And we're not going to run the whole framework today. We don't really have time in this podcast. That's why on June 23rd, we have a free seminar that I want to give you, but I want to give you the first step here in the podcast. Check for our social media links. Go sign up for that webinar. It's all about how to identify and diffuse an angry person. That also includes yourself, okay? Now, here's a little step here is control. And this is what we're going to be talking about in our 7 steps in the webinar on June 23rd. C stands for control yourself. Before you manage any situation around you, before you respond to any person, before you say a single word, you have to check in with the most important person in the room. That's yourself. What is happening inside me right now? Am I breathing? Am I listening? Am I reacting? Am I about to make this worse? So 4 questions, 4 seconds can save you 4 years worth of damage. Let me say that again. Those 4 questions. Okay, what's happening inside me right now? Am I breathing? Am I listening? Am I reacting? Am I about to make this worse? Those questions in 4 seconds can save you 4 years. So do it. All right. We'll be right back. Hey, everybody. Ed Snyder here. If you've listened to any podcast when we were under the True North banner, you have heard about I'm a coffee freak, okay? And we had a link to a coffee company, but I am very, very excited to announce today that we have our own coffee company, and it's called Too Good Coffee. Amen. That's too good. I don't endorse a lot of things. I drink coffee every morning, every afternoon, and sometimes if I want to stay up late, I'll have a cup late at night. And that's the reason Too Good Coffee is exactly what it sounds like. Of course, we've tested all the coffees before we actually dove into this. It's smooth. It's strong if you like it. It doesn't have that bitter aftertaste that makes you wonder why you even bother. If it's already starting your day with coffee, and it's based around leadership. It's for people with a purpose and with a mission. So in our show notes, there's a code that you can go to. You can save 10% if you'll sign up for a little ebook that I'm giving away on how to get started in coffee. You can also, if you subscribe, you'll get 10% off of your subscription each month by subscribing. And you can always cancel anytime. We have teas, we have coffees. Go check it out at drink2good.com. Drink2good.com. All right, let's get back to the podcast. Now, let's talk about in this subject of unmanaged anger is before we go today, I want to give you one thing to do, not 10 things, just one. Okay. And here it is. The next time you feel anger rising, before you speak, before you act, before you send that text, stop. Put the brakes on and take one breath and ask yourself this. And I want you to listen to this. What am I actually feeling underneath the anger? Okay. Now, when you arrive to that answer to that question, what am I actually feeling underneath this anger? Name it. Okay. Say it out loud. Let yourself hear it. Fear, frustration, shame, rejection, powerlessness. Just name it. You don't have to solve it in that moment, but you need to recognize it. You need to call it out. You need to name it. It has to have a name because named emotions lose power. Unnamed emotions will run your life. Okay. So we're getting ready to publish a 30-day journal for emotional intelligence. And along with that devotional is going to be a journal. But in the meantime, and that's coming out, I'm hoping in a couple of weeks. But in the meantime, write this question down. Okay, this question right here I'm about to tell you. What has unmanaged anger cost me something that I can't get back? And what would it be worth to make sure that doesn't happen again? Okay? Let me repeat that so that you can write it. Where has unmanaged anger cost me something that I can't get back? The second question is, and what would it be worth to make sure that doesn't happen again? What are you going to gain? All right? Anger unmanaged is going to manage you. Count it. It's been around forever. So you're not I'm sorry. I love you. You're a loyal, faithful listener to the podcast, to our former podcast, and to this one. I don't want to insult you, but I do want to be very real so that you can heal up from this and become emotionally intelligent. Okay? So you're not the exception to the rule. Unmanaged anger will manage you. It's not a threat. It's simply chemistry. And whatever you don't lead, leads you. Okay? If you're not strapped into the driver's seat and you got your hands on the steering wheel and you're driving it, whatever it is driving you. So you're not a victim of your own emotional life. You've been given the capacity, the biblical mandate to govern what happens inside you. Yes, the beast is real, but so is your authority over it. Did you hear me? Yes, the beast is real, but so is your authority over it. Okay? Now, if this hits home, I need you to make notes. If this really pinches, that's good. That's a great sign. Why? Because you realize there's an issue. You realize that there is a problem. So what is our call to action? What do we need to leave today from this podcast? Is that you first need to share this episode with somebody perhaps that needs it. Don't send it to somebody that you think's attacking you, somebody that actually needs to hear this, okay? Now, if you want to go deeper into this, a quick fix is to go to Amazon.com and do a search, Control the Beast, Ed Snyder, and pick up a copy of our book. Now, what you're going to get is the original version that we wrote. My wife and I wrote a few years ago. We are literally days away. The manuscript's finished, the new cover's finished, a revised version of Control the Beast, and we are also just finished the manuscript, and it's in editing for volume 2, or a sequel to Control the Beast, called Release the Beast. We're going to put you in beast mode, okay? So the call to action is share this episode. The second call to action is to go buy the book. The third call to action is mark your calendar and go into the show notes and find the link to sign up for Tuesday, June 23rd. Stumbled there, June 23rd at 7:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. There is a free webinar, How to Identify and Diffuse an Angry Person. That also means you're not only going to learn how to diffuse someone in your life, someone in your work life, somebody maybe at your church, but you're also going to learn how to identify and diffuse yourself. It's completely free, and the link is in the show notes. Go do it. I'm Ed Snyder. Own your reactions and rewrite your story, and I'll see you next week.
You've been listening to Control the Beast podcast with Pastor Ed Snyder, helping you own your reactions and rewrite your story. Don't forget to subscribe, share, and leave a review wherever you listen to podcasts. For resources, coaching, and more, visit controlthebeast.com. Until next time, keep your emotions under control, live with purpose, and remember, with God's help, you can control the beast.